Okay, I want to quickly go over the task, and then I'm actually even going to do a little bit of the RSG as well. So the main thing with 9.2 is that you want to be able to connect what we wrote in the table to the Venn diagram, and then finally to a tree. Now we did the table and the Venn diagram in class, so obviously I want to do the tree in this video. But I want to talk a little bit about the Venn diagram. So if you just want to see the tree, you could fast forward to the tree if you totally understand the Venn diagram. But when I'm doing the Venn diagram, which I have the answer here written down for, the first thing that I do is I think about what number they gave me, okay? I was given 4,024, and I'm like, what is that? Well, I go back to my table, and I see 4,024 was females that liked vanilla ice cream. So I know that is what this must be, okay, is females that liked vanilla ice cream. So I know that the other part of the circle with the chocolate, that must be the females that like chocolate because it's in the female circle and the chocolate circle. So that was this number right here of females that like chocolate. Okay, and also I think about the total number of females, like all this whole circle, the total should be this, okay? And it is, because when I add these two together, I get that total. So then I start thinking about my other circle, and I'm like, okay, I got this other circle that's chocolate, and I have this number here, and that was the females that like chocolate. So my total chocolate has to be what? Well, my total chocolate has to be this, right? I have this for the females, so that other part must be 2,423, which is the males that like chocolate. So that's why I wrote there. So I think wrote that there. I think that kids find it the easiest to think about the total for each circle. Okay, so I have a chocolate circle and a female circle. I know that my chocolate circle, the total number has to be this, okay? The female circle, the total number has to be this. And then everything else just kind of starts falling into place. So I've now represented this number. Here's the three numbers that I have in my circle right now. I have this one, I have those three, right? One, we're ignoring this for now, but we have 1, 2, 3. So there's only one other part of the joint frequencies to include in my chart, and that would be this final number here must be males that like vanilla is the number that goes on the outside as males that like vanilla. Okay, so again, to understand the whole thing, it's weird that we only have chocolate and female to represent chocolate, female, male, and vanilla. It can be done, right? So right here is females that like vanilla because it's outside of the chocolate circle. Right here is females that like chocolate because it's part of both circles. Right here, we have people that like chocolate that are outside of the female circle. So that must be males that like chocolate. And then we have the leftover right there, okay? All right. That's how we connected those first two in class. Now what we have to do is we have to connect the Venn diagram to the tree diagram, okay? And remember, the quiz tomorrow is actually on trees. So up here on the tree diagram, I can see that, okay, this is pretty clear. I have female and male split. Nice. And then up here, so females, and then I have this 4732 number, okay? And this is C given F. So given that they're females, that number like chocolate, okay? This is given that they're females, that many like vanilla. Well, when I go back to my table, I'm like, all right, well, what was, I'll use a different color, what was chocolate and vanilla? I'm sorry, chocolate and vanilla. What was vanilla and female? Okay, well, that was this number right here, 4,024. And this these are my female probabilities. So I would want to be sure that these two added together is my total females, which it is. And then for males, I come down here, I'm like, okay, here's the number of males, and here's the number of chocolate given male, right? What was chocolate given male? That's right here, okay, 2423. And what was vanilla given male? That was 3587. 3587. So that's how the tree diagram shook out a little bit. And then just really remember, these are the confusing parts, what these things mean. Okay, so chocolate given male, if I were to write it with really good notation, like to get a 4, you're going to want to have really good notation, right? So you would have probability of chocolate given male would be what? Okay, well, I'm given male. Remember, what's after this is my denominator. And then the number of them that like chocolate. Okay, and these are the kind of probabilities that you want to be able to write from all three. And we'll continue to practice it. Okay, so that is how you would do. The rest of the task should go pretty easily if you understand all of those things. Okay, and come with questions tomorrow if you don't. Now I want to take a minute and I want to do the ready 492, or at least part of it, okay? Maybe try it on your own first, but these can be confusing, which is why I wanted to do it. So I'll do the first one, okay? Use the Venn diagram to answer the questions. Hint, you may use the same data provided in the two-way table from question 3 on the next page to help make sense of the Venn diagram. Okay, the Venn diagram represents the relationship between favorite sport, soccer or baseball, and gender, male, female. Okay, so what we have here is we only have 2 of those. We only have soccer and female, okay? So I like to start thinking about what these different numbers represent, okay? And this is always the easiest one to spot. So I'll do this kind of work before I even start like looking at the questions, okay? So I start thinking, okay, so that middle part must be soccer, female is 50. Okay, that's it. Good enough. Well, now I might look at my soccer circle. Here's my soccer circle, right? And if 50 of them are male, that leaves soccer male to be the other number, which is 35. Now I would glance over at the female circle, okay, which is going to be I'll just do it in orange. So look at this circle. We already determined that the 50 is soccer. So this must be another sport. What's my other possible sport? Baseball. Okay. So that 26 must be baseball female. And then I start thinking about 30. Well, what's the only one I haven't represented? I have soccer female, soccer male. I have baseball female. So this must be baseball male must be the random number on the outside. So now that I have like all 4 things, so the joint frequencies down, you could have looked at the chart. I'm sure on the other page it looks really similar. All I would have to do is just answer the question. So how many people said soccer is their favorite sport? Well, I would look at my soccer circle and add the numbers together. 35 plus 50 is 85. Remember, just type the number 85, so GoFormative recognizes it. You don't need to write 85 people. How many females are in the data? Well, I would look at the female circle. And I would go 50 plus 26. How many males chose baseball? Now I would look up here at what I wrote. Baseball males is 30. What's the probability that a person would say soccer is their favorite sport? Well, now I would need a total for a probability, right? I would need all the people in the survey as the denominator. So how many total people are in the survey? Well, it would be 50 plus 35 plus 26 plus 30. Give me a minute. think it's 141. I better make sure I don't have to like redo the whole video again. Give me just a minute, guys. That would really be lame. Let me make sure the total is 141. Yes, it is. Okay. Now it says, what's the probability that the person would say soccer is their favorite sport? Well, how many total people liked soccer? Well, that was my answer for number 1. How many people said soccer is their favorite sport? 85 out of 141. And then you could just enter that into GoFormative, or if you were to make it a percent, it would be 60.3% by dividing it out and making it a percent. 5, what's the probability that a female would say soccer is their favorite sport? Out of all the females, blank percent say soccer is their favorite sport. This is the probability of soccer given female. So I like looking at this, okay? What's after this is going to be my denominator. So given female, what was the total number of females? It's right here in number 2, okay? Out of those 76, how many of them liked soccer? 50 out of 76. You could put that as an answer in GoFormative, or you could divide it and make it a percent of 65.8%. Okay? All right. This next one's going to work real similar, so hopefully that was a good guide and get you all caught up on 9.1 and 9.2.